right, Mackenzie, let's take a look at your essay. On a side note, before we get going, I want to say again how proud I am of you of winning states. That was pretty awesome. But I don't know if you were thinking about taking speech 2 or not. If you are, I have some really good ideas for you for ways we can improve and get better and whatnot. So if you are, I'm really excited to have you back. If not, I won't take it as an offense, and I'll still keep helping you, because we got to win nationals next year. So hopefully that'll work out. All right, so MLA format, everything looks good except you do date, then month, then year, so 24 February 2016. And typically we do the date that it was due, which it wasn't on the 24th that it was due. That's probably when you started writing your paper, so you'll want to change that. Pet positivity, a little too corny for me. Maybe as a speech topic title it would probably be okay, but in a formal essay I don't know if it works too well. I get it, and it's good alliteration at least, but I don't know. Maybe it's just too mushy for me. I don't know. All right, so you start off with a quote, which is great. You need a citation for that quote, so make sure the citation comes after it. Doesn't matter what kind of animal you love, no comma, or whether you love them in your house, blah, 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 from afar, from dogs and cats to horses and cows, from lions and bears to elephants and dolphins. Okay, this is where I want you to work on. This needs to be a much better word choice. Any and every animal is good for you in several ways. What do you mean good for you? Like, I know what you're going to get to. I mean, you got to have a better word choice in there. So make your word choice better in this sentence. Owning a pet has many benefits. It has been proven that they can do all of these things. So here's your topic and your main points. Here's what I do not like. All your thesis statement is basically restating your main points. They live longer, health benefits, suffer less from mental health issues, have an improved social life. You just repeated your main points. But guess what? Your thesis statement has to be repeated in all your body paragraphs. So you are not going to talk about all 3 of those things in every body paragraph. You're only going to talk about them in one body paragraph, one body paragraph, one body paragraph. So your thesis statement has to be different. It has to be about the overall effect of owning a pet. Basically, it's going to help you be a better person, essentially, is what you're saying. But you can't just say that, so don't just say that. But that's what you're looking at for a thesis statement. And I'm actually kind of shocked. This looks pretty short for you for an introduction too, especially how long your body paragraphs are. Really work on elongating that introduction, which I think you can work on with a stronger. You kind of combined your topic and your main points together. I think you can separate those and even build off them a little bit more than what you have already. So just something to think about. All right, let's get into your body and your first one about physical benefits. All right, this is what we want to get away from too. Not just that they have these benefits, but how overall, what is the message of those benefits? Essentially, maybe living a healthier lifestyle. I don't know, something. So you have the places where you got this information from, but you do not have still any in-text citation. So you still need some in-text citation, Mackenzie, in parentheses saying where this information came from. Anything that's not your own words or not your own information, you got to tell me where you got it from. Now, I know you didn't plagiarize it, but you have to tell me, where did this study come from? Where did this stuff come from? You have to do that. So you have some really good examples. You have a very upbeat voice. So I like all the examples. Remember, you cannot use the word you. I think you used it up here too. So you have prevent a person. I don't know. I thought you had it one more time. Maybe it was, right there, your physical health. So you can't use you. Every time you use you lose a point in your paper. So there's 2 points already. So don't do that. I already told Kyle this. You I know as a speech student had to work on transitions, and that's great. You need to work on stronger transitions. Don't just say they're great physically, but they're also great mentally too. You have to be stronger, than that, and say something along the lines of, while pets provide great, physical activity, they also sharpen your mind in ways you can't imagine. Now, that's really dumb, but somewhere along those lines is where you need to go with a transitional statement. So really try to work on that transitional statement here. I know you know how to do them, but I want you to do them much better now. All right, just a forewarning, Mackenzie, you were going to get a 0 on your voice grade. As I said already, every time you use you or your, you miss a point, and I think you use it about 8 times in here. So when you get there, don't be shocked when you see that grade, because you lost some points on there. You can't change point of view. You haven't used I in here, so this is all in third person point of view, so you definitely can't jump into you and your. This is probably, I would say, much weaker than the last paragraph too. This one doesn't have as many as much support to it. This is more kind of vague, whatever, about acceptance, make you feel needed. The family and friends you're surrounded with don't care. They're not judgmental. I don't know. I just feel like this is something you tell a whiny friend after their boyfriend breaks up with them or something. I don't know. I just don't feel like it's where it needs to be as far as support goes. I'd like to see more external sources and maybe a more specific, I don't know. I guess this is kind of a specific example that when you don't feel like friends care about you, your pet does. But maybe what's the scientific reason for that? I don't know. I just don't feel like it's as strong. I think it's maybe mopey is the way to describe it. Whereas your last one is very upbeat, and this one is very, I don't know, mopey. And even though it's about your mental health, I feel like you can, maybe it's the word choice you're using isn't as strong because you're not maybe upbeat about it. And again, make sure you have a stronger transition, comma as well. So make sure that that is better in there. So this is a better topic sentence for improving social skill and helping people connect with one another. That's a little bit better. At least you're kind of a message with connecting there. So keep that up. And again, all the yous and yours in here, make sure you take care of in your rewrite. All right. So you get into social skills and helping people connect. This is actually back to, I really like this paragraph. I think you have lots of good examples. Again, you have less, and which I guess I would kind of expect from this paragraph, but you have less outside sources, less statistics and support as far as from another source. Everything is pretty good in here. There's a couple punctuation mistakes that you want to work on. And now I've completely forgot where they are. Oh, right here. Make sure that you have, when you have a comma conjunction, make sure it's 2 complete sentences on either side. So make sure you fix that. This part, I thought maybe you could go up and put this in the mental part of owning a pet. Because I feel like it fits, maybe not so much social, the idea of grieving and coping with sadness, compassion, empathy, self-esteem. I feel like that's maybe better up here in the social part, or the mental part, which I think would actually really improve the mood of this passage. Whereas this again is upbeat, going on walking your park, and going to a dog park, and meeting people online, and this is, not that tone. So I really think you can move some of this up and take a look at it again, get rid of the use yours yourself, that kind of language as well. Here's a really good, I hate, almost bordering up there with very and really as really terrible words. I'm really leaning towards extremely of putting that in the top 3. They can be extremely beneficial. Well, what's another word for extremely beneficial? Essential? I don't know. Whatever. So try to think of a different way to say that. All right, on to your conclusion, which you should restate your thesis statement at the beginning. I guess that's actually a pretty good restatement of your thesis statement, which is not at the beginning of your paper. So make sure that you include that, even if you just copied pasted it for the most part. Fuller, richer lives than those who do not own pets. So that's not a bad thesis statement. So physically, you go throughout and repeat your main points. All right, one little, don't need that same comma conjunction rule there, so you don't need that comma there. And actually, I really like your ending. I think the ending is really good. Again, when you have to get rid of you and your, is it still going to have the same effect? We'll see. But I think that's a really good ending and a really good way to kind of ease out of the paper. So good job with that. So, yep. So these are in order. Looks like everything looks good. But make sure that, I don't think you cited her at all. I don't think you cited that at all. You did cite that one, I believe. Oh, maybe you didn't. You just mentioned Disease for Center Control and Prevention, the National Institute of Health. So what source did that come from? You didn't cite any. That's right. Mackenzie, shame on you. You got to cite your sources. So whatever was not your own words, make sure that you cite one of these things for that. So make sure you do that in the future. Okay, not a bad paper, Mackenzie. Plenty of ways in which you can improve, though. So looking forward to a rewrite.